Imagine the year 1525, the air thick with the ink of a Florentine exile's quill. Niccolo Machiavelli, half smiling at the parchment before him, suddenly feels the floor tilt. A rift tears open in the candlelight, and he tumbles through centuries, landing barefoot on blue mats that smell of sweat and rubber. A coach tosses him a white belt. He ties it with the same knot he once used to bind treaties. 10 minutes later, he is laughing, choking out a tattooed heavyweight with a bow and arrow grip. The prince has found his kingdom. Here are the 5 reasons he would never leave the academy. First, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu teaches that fear is the surest glue between ruler and ruled. Machiavelli warned that love evaporates when interest shifts. Fear, properly applied, endures. On the mats, a smaller fighter learns to wrap an arm around a thicker neck until the bigger man's eyes bulge like overripe figs. The tap comes not from affection, but from the certainty of sleep. Yet the moment the grip loosens, both fighters rise grinning, slapping palms. Fear has done its work. Camaraderie follows as a bonus, not a requirement. Machiavelli nods. This is the balance he spent 30 chapters chasing? Second, the art rewards the ends over the means with shameless clarity. A street fight, a war, a Senate vote. Whatever the arena, victory is the only coin that spins. Jiu-Jitsu strips away the chivalric varnish. You may feint a hip escape, bait a guard pass, then snake a heel hook that tears ligaments like wet parchment. The referee does not pause to ask whether the move was noble. He only checks if the scream was sincere. Machiavelli, who once advised a prince to break faith the instant it ceased to profit, would applaud the ruthless economy. Deception is not a sin here. It is a setup for the finish. Third, the hierarchy is merciless, yet meritocratic, a living diagram of the fortune and virtue dance he adored. Stripes and belts are not inherited, they are taken. A duchess in a GI is only as royal as her last escape from side control. Machiavelli, who watched popes and condottieri rise on nepotism alone, would relish the democracy of the choke. The white belt, who drills armbars at dawn, will one day collar the cocky blue belt who skipped fundamentals. Virtue, relentless, clever, adaptive, always finds its throne. Fourth, the body becomes a republic of leverage, every joint a citizen with a vote. Machiavelli spent pages on how a prince must master terrain. Jiu-Jitsu maps the human frame the way he once mapped Tuscany. A hip shifted 2 inches turns a dominant position into a trap. A grip on the collarbone can redirect a charging bull. The practitioner learns to govern the opponent's skeleton the way a statesman governs factions, by knowing which pressure point sways the whole. When Machiavelli first felt his own elbow hyperextended in a straight armbar, he laughed aloud. Here was politics, without speeches. Finally, the art demands constant adaptation, the very quality he called virtu in the face of fortuna. Roll with a wrestler, and your guard collapses. Roll with a judoka, and your back is taken before you blink. The mats punish dogma. Yesterday's killer technique becomes today's counter drill. Machiavelli, who watched the Medici fall for clinging to outdated alliances, would drill until his GI soaked through. Every failed sweep is a lesson in reading the room. Every successful pass, a coup executed in silence. The academy is his new court, and the timer its inexorable clock. 10 minutes expire. The exile from Florence sits against the wall, chest heaving, eyes bright. Someone offers water. He waves it away. He has tasted something purer than power. Control earned inch by inch, breath by breath. The rift home never reopens, and he does not mind. In this strange republic of limbs and leverage, the prince has finally met a system cunning enough to keep him forever. Imagine the year